All right, so the first little video for this part is going to be just on organelles and what they are. I'm not going to go into specific organelles yet, that'll be in subsequent videos. But organelle literally means little organ. And these are all of your subcellular structures, or the structures in your cell that are smaller than your cell. That's what subcellular means. So this is your nucleus and your mitochondria and your lysosomes, all those things. They are going to do the work of the cell. And they're going to be working together so that the cell can get everything it needs. But the good thing about having these little organs all over your cell, these organelles, is that it allows us to compartmentalize what's going on in the cell. And what I mean by that is we don't want cellular respiration happening all over the place, because then enzymes are trying to do their job, and they're being mixed up with other enzymes, and everybody's getting confused, and nobody can do what they're supposed to do. What we want is cellular respiration to happen over here in this region, separate from other things, so that it can just focus on getting done. And so what the cell does is it breaks itself up into these compartments, and a compartment is just an area or a region surrounded by a barrier, in this case a membrane. And it's going to break itself up into these compartments so that each compartment, aka organelle, can do its own little job or its own function. That allows the cell to save energy. We talked about this before, like with schools. You wouldn't want your teacher having to do the principal's job and having to cook lunch and drive the bus and clean the bathrooms, because then we wouldn't be able to do what we need to do as teachers. And so by breaking those jobs up, it allows each of us, the principal, the custodian, the cafeteria workers, the bus drivers, the teachers, everybody else that's involved in education, it allows us to focus on our job and do our job really well and use our energy towards that job. And it's the same thing with your organelles. You want each organelle to have a job, do its job well, and conserve energy, because things that waste energy don't survive. And so if cells can be set up in such a way that they can conserve energy, then they can have a greater chance of survival. And so that's the purpose of organelles. It is just a specific location where a job happens in such a way that the cell can focus on that job in that location and not have to worry about it any other place in the cell, and therefore it makes the cell more likely to survive. I hope that helps. If you have more questions about what an organelle is or why it's important for cells to be broken into organelles, we can talk about that more.